So if possible, do you want to tell me how on the day? I shouldn't start such a hard question. Is it alright?
That's all right.
On the day that your wife found out, how did everything go down?
It was progression in the sense of the first day my wife found out that I was attracted to other men was that in my work bag she found a man magazine.
Yeah.
Like men's porno magazine. For me, that was my only relief because I'd never been with any men before, during, well, I might say after. After it was, a different story. But yeah, up until that time, I'd never been with any men, so my only sort of relief was looking through the men's porno magazines. She found that. A lot of yelling and screaming. She jumped in the car, took off for a couple of hours. I was unsure whether she was even coming back. What followed after that was, again, a lot of talking. I saw counsellors, I saw psychiatrists, I saw psychologists. I then followed through and did 18 months of religious reprogramming.
Ooh, is that like what I think it is?
Oh yeah, you can see it worked well. And when I realised actually it was not working, it was about 18 months later of us going through couples counselling as well. We were finally at the counsellor one day and I said to the counsellor, I think it's time to call it quits. Love her, not in love with her. Don't think I have been, at least not for a very long time. And I can't keep living a lie.
Yeah. Was it really hard to live all those years leading up to it?
I was very heavily medicated on antidepressants, and even then, I actually still tried to commit suicide several times. And on the very last time, I actually was committing suicide without realising it. I was in such a state. I was working on a farm and I was on the top of a silo and I was actually just walking straight off the edge. When I saw, I suppose, a vision of my 3 children. And at that point I realised it was better for them to be angry with me than a headstone.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree. How did your kids take it?
Yeah, that makes sense. Dad, what's for dinner? It was the most anticlimactic experience of my life. I was absolutely packing it. Nervous as all hell because, I was petrified that my kids would hate me. I was petrified. And when, my eldest son was 12 at the time, my second son was 9, my daughter was 7. And when I told them that, one reason that, because their mother actually called me back to the house after we'd separated because the kids were taking it out on their mum because Dad left. So she said, no, you need to talk to the kids. So we sat them down and I explained to them that, look, one of the main reasons that we've separated is also because, not just because we're not getting along, but because I'm actually gay. And my oldest son just looked at me and goes, yeah, that makes sense. Blew me away and I'm like, what do you mean that makes sense? He goes, Dad, Mum's outside kicking the footy, you're inside cooking dinner. What's new?
Hilarious.
So it was the most anticlimactic experience I could imagine. So
They took it really well?
They did. The only issue that they had following it over the next sort of 12 months, they were fine with the fact that I was gay. But because we lived in Picton and Tarmore at the time, So Southern Highlands, very isolated. So they were fine with me being gay, but they felt that they were the only ones who had a gay dad.
Yeah.
So they then felt very isolated again.
Was there any way to help them through that, or?
I actually started up a social support group for all Greater Sydney, G'day Gay Dads and They're Young, which was a support group for children with gay parents. And we did things such as, going to the parks and the beach and the Sydney Aquatic Centre, and it was just a way of bringing all the kids together that had gay parents, so they could actually realise that no, they weren't the only ones. There was a lot more out there, and it was quite normal.
Wow, that sounds actually amazing.
And I ran that group for over 5 years.
And how can people access the group?
Well, I don't sort of run it anymore these days. There is one other group, which is Gay Dads Australia. They're more centred around guys who wish to become dads.
Okay.
Where the group that I used to run was more centred around the kids of gay dads.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
You've given such amazing answers, like really, really good. As the years have progressed and stuff, have the kids stayed very accepting and everything, and have you noticed any other parents coming out and stuff, and have they been accepting towards the idea, or have you noticed people get angry at you, or have you felt any resentment? Sorry, I was a bit wordy, but
Yeah. Yes and no. It's been a real mixed bag. What I mean by that is, their mother and I went through quite a few years of turmoil, where she then used me being gay against me for the kids. In a way that actually backfired upon her. We have 2 of the 3 children living with us. They've only just recently moved out because, they're 19 and 24 and making their own lives. But they actually lived with us my eldest son, he lived with us since he was 17 until 24. My daughter, she was 17 till 19. So my second son, no, he had issues with his mother and was able to rule the roost there, where unfortunately Daddy has rules and he doesn't like following rules. But even when the kids were younger, it was always, what I found very strange was whenever the kids wanted to have their friends stay over, just to cover myself, I always said to them, that's fine, your mates are all welcome to stay over, as long as their parents know that I'm gay, because I don't want any backlash later on. Both my sons had all their mates stay over our place many a time, without any incidents. My daughter's friends, their parents stopped them.
Really?
You'd think it would have been the boys to stop.
Yeah, I thought.
And yet it was all the girls' parents who actually stopped them from coming over.
I don't even understand that.
Yeah, neither do I. That's something I've never been able to comprehend, but that was the way it always was.
Wow.
It wasn't until Emily was 16, 17 before she had her first friend stay at our place.
Did she feel the pressure because of this, or?
No, Emily's so blasé about everything, she doesn't give a shit. But we've got a very relaxed household here.
That is good.
No, the kids have always been good. Their mates have come and gone so much that even if my kids aren't home, their mates still come over to see us.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
And that's gay or straight, male or female. They all come over and see us and say g'day, and half of them will call us Dad.
Oh,
still.
That's such a nice community,
So So, because I always, you know, and they'll come up and go, Dad, yeah, I stuffed up. Sit down, what have you done? Because they know that they can speak to me, but not their parents.
Yeah.
They'll feel more comfortable because, yeah, I'll give them a kick in the ass if they deserve it, but then I'll give them a pat on the back if they need it as well.
Oh, that
So,
sounds really good of you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what would you give advice to any other men that were in the same position as you where they are gay and married?
I'm going to say it's bloody hard. Simple as that. It's the hardest thing you could ever do. And I can't give an overall advice because every situation is different. For me, I knew I was gay at a very young age, but I come from a very homophobic family. So coming out was never an option.
What did they kind of say to you?
All poofters should be put on a boat, dragged out to sea and sunk because they're nothing but fucking animals. Sorry.
Wow.
So yeah, hence I was 31 when I came out and I never spoke to my parents again.
Even to this day?
To this day.
Wow.
So yeah, that simple as that. So for me, coming out was never an option. I know several guys who are married, but they're actually bisexual. They love their wives. They are deeply in love with their wife. But yeah, they need attention. They've got a itch that needs to be scratched every now and then that only a man can do. They know that their wife would not understand. Again, are you going to tell them to leave their wife?
Yeah.
Exactly. Now you understand what I'm
I
saying.
see what
You
mean.
can't make one comment for everyone when you don't know their situation. So it's a hard situation, and all I would say to any man out there is there is help available. You're not alone. There's people there to help.
That was awesome. I think that's all I need. That was
Yep.
just absolutely incredible. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
Is it okay if I just get like some stock footage, maybe you walking around, you cooking a bit or something? just you know how you got to film it on the back.
Yep.